this is Joseph Land, and thank you for joining me today on Ask Joseph Land series. Boy, we had some great response from our last video production. And before I get started today, I ask you to do me a favor. Just go down below, hit subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you get all of these broadcasts, and share it with a friend, and let's spread the message around the globe of encouragement and good news. I want to answer some questions that some of you sent me last week after my initial podcast in the series called Ask Joseph Land. Christy asked me this question. She says, how do you overcome procrastination? And you know what? Have you ever procrastinated? Me too. And the thing about procrastination is this. When you write down something on a piece of paper, in your journal or whatever that you want to accomplish, then you should be tenacious to get that done in a day's time. A lot of times what causes you to procrastinate is one word. It's called fear. And I always like to call that false evidence appearing real. If you just do it, that fear goes away. And I always like to say that procrastination is a thief of dreams. If you continue to procrastinate, you won't do it. And so what I want you to do is I want you to have a system where you write down what it is you're trying to do, and you visit it all day long during that day until you mark it off your list. That's what I do. It works, and that's a great question, procrastination. Bobby asked me, how do you overcome the fear of public speaking? Gosh, what a great question. I remember when I was a senior in high school, I was running for student body president, and I won, by the way. And I was fearful about standing up before people that I knew all of my life to talk about why I would be a great president of our high school student body. But my sister helped me with my speech, and I got up there and did it anyway. And you know, after that, it was amazing. I didn't have any problems after that talking to my peer group. But boy, when I got in business and I had to go before other people that I didn't know and tell them about business, I was fearful. And I think that's a natural reaction that we all would have. So here's what I did. I went to my little girl's room, and I got all the stuffed animals, and I lined them up on the bed, and I gave them my talk. And I gave them my talk. And I gave them my talk. And before long, I had it cold, and I wasn't afraid. And I just pretended like when I was speaking for the first time to the group of business people, that I was speaking to the teddy bear and the baby doll and all of that. And it was very successful, and it was a big hit. Today, I've done it so many times. Once you do something over and over and over again, it becomes old hat. And so I'm just telling you, don't fear public speaking. Practice a little bit. Do it anyway. Be sincere. Be you. And just have that humble spirit, and people will love what you say. Ben asked me, how do I keep myself healthy or spend time for my health and physical activity being an entrepreneur? And I'll tell you the same thing about procrastination. I have a plan. When I wake up in the morning, I know exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to do my spiritual time, and then I'm going to the gym. Because if I wait until 5 or 6 o'clock in the evening, I'm not going to train. I'm not going to work out. And also, I think the physical activity and taking care of your physical well-being is your emotional state, who you're associating with, and also what you eat. And when you play sports at a high level, everybody's good, everybody trains, but the edge is the nutrition. And so Jennifer and I are on what I call a modified vegetarian diet. We eat a lot of fish and things like that, but we eat a lot of fresh fruits and vegetables. And so I'm a big believer in what you fuel inside the engine is how you perform. So that's a great question. Jared asked me this question. What do you do daily to improve yourself? Well, number one, I pray. Number two, I do my spiritual time. And number three, I'm constantly reading in books to improve how I think, watching what other people do, watching the stock market, watching how other executives behave in their business. That's how I improve myself, and that's how I grow as a person. And being around the right people. I'm always trying to be around those who affirm my dream. and who want me to be successful and who encourage me to be successful. So Jaron, that was a great question. Derek asked me, he says, is being an entrepreneur owning your own business or working for yourself? And I would have to say that's both. Because when you're an entrepreneur, you do own your own business. And when you're a single proprietor, you're working for yourself too. And so as an entrepreneur, you're working for yourself. If you have multiple employees, or if you're a sole proprietor working in your business, then you're also working for yourself. But I've seen people in sole proprietorships who've made a lot of money. And so, you don't have to have employees, a bunch of employees, to make a lot of money. But what I love is being an entrepreneur is I make a difference. When I start a company or I run a company, I'm hiring people and giving them a great culture to be a part of, and in a great way to make a great living for their family. So it just really fuels the economy. And I want to encourage people to be entrepreneurs or to have their business so that they also fuel the economy. So that's a great question. Haley asked me, how would you know when your business was successful? Well, I think the first reason is when you're comfortable in what you're doing, you're starting to reach some of your goals, you're making a profit, you're doing well, you're helping people. I think that's when you know that you are becoming successful in your business. Sandy asked me this question. She said, how do I start a business? Let me tell you, my dream was to play professional baseball, and when a torn rotator cuff ended that dream, I had to get another dream. And so I dreamed to have a transportation company. And so I borrowed $50,000 to start a transportation company, and I was frightened. I was scared every day. I was so afraid every day. But you know what? I knew I had to do something different because I wanted to be a blessing to my parents. And so I borrowed $50,000 to start a transportation company, and in 2 weeks I was out of money. I was totally out of money. And so I said, Lord, you have to help me this time. I don't know what to do. And so I got a line of credit, and I was able to really keep going and build a huge enterprise that was probably the 8th largest refrigerated transport company in North America at the time. And so how do you start a business? You just want to. You just make it work. You just make it happen. You just say, this is my dream, and God willing, and God is willing if you're willing, I'm going to accomplish this dream. I'm going to do whatever it takes to be successful. I am not going to procrastinate, as Christy was concerned about. I am going to have a plan every day. I'm going to get in there and work my business, and I'm going to be successful. And one day I'm going to look back and look at all the people I've blessed by having my own company or by being a sole proprietor. I'm going to look at all the people I've blessed along the way, and I'm going to say, wow, I have had great success, and I am so grateful that I had that opportunity. And so thank you for joining me today on Ask Joseph Land. Hope some of these answers have fueled you on to greatness in your business or in your life. And please do this for me. Go down below, hit subscribe, hit the notification bell, and subscribe to my channel, and be in tune to all the things that we're doing, because we're going to be rolling out a lot of great things that are going to bless you and your friends and your family. So share it with other people, and thank you for joining me today on Ask Joseph Land.